So hello everyone. N- Now today we'll see the two problems: palindrome number and Armstrong number. So we'll check if a number is palindrome or and we'll check if a number is Armstrong number or not. So I'll be using this take you forward platform where I have taken my plus course and I will be using solving this two problem on this platform. So let's move to home. Basic problems. We'll go to basic maths and first we'll go to palindrome number. So this question states that you are given an integer n. You need to check whether the number is palindrome number or not. Return true if it's a palindrome number, otherwise return false. Here the definition of palindrome number is given. A palindrome number is a number which reads the same both left to right and right to left. So palindrome is a number. If we read from front or back, it will be the same. For example, you can see 121. If we start from back, it is 121. If we start from front, it is 121. Similarly, if we see the n is equal to 123, if we start from front, it is 123. But if we start from back, it is 321. So it is not a palindrome number. So we'll see code. Let me reset the code whichever I wrote for before. Here we are given one function is palindrome and we have parameter n which you have to check whether this n is a palindrome number or not. So checking the palindrome number, what we need is we need to know the number from front, we need to know the number from back. If are equal, we can say that it is a palindrome number. So we know that n is given number, it is read from front, but we don't know what it will be read if we go from back to front. So we need to find that number which will be read from back to forward. So what you can do is we'll take the last digit and first we'll take this one, then we'll take these two, then we'll take one. So if you'll see this example, you can say that first we'll take 3, then 2, then 1. So it will become 321. So what you can do is we'll write first we'll take one variable which will be like reverse. Starting reverse is equal to 0. Now we'll run a loop which will run until n becomes 0. Now inside this loop, we'll take the last digit of the number. Let's say my number is 123. What is its last digit? I can say that int last digit equal to n modulus 10. So this 3 will be stored in last digit. Now I need to store this 3 in reverse. Starting reverse is 0. Now reverse will be 3. So we will store reverse into 10 plus r. So what you are doing is you're multiplying the reverse by 10. It will create one more digit on the right side and we are adding r at that place. So for example, when reverse is 0, if we'll add into 10, it will be 0 only. And again we will add r, it will become 3. So after this operation, reverse will become 3. And after taking this last digit, we need to remove. Now we have read this digit. So remaining we have to read 12 only. So we'll reduce the n also. N is equal to n by 10. So this will remove the 3 and now n is our 12. Again this loop will go, n is 12, n is greater than 0. So this condition is true. It will go inside last digit. This time last digit will be 2 because our n is 12 only. So last digit will be 2 and our reverse is 3. Now when our reverse is 3, if you multiply reverse into 10, 3 into 10, it will be 30. So now we have created one place here, this place. Now we will get the add last digit at the place of at this place. So sorry, here I should write last digit. Now this time last digit is 2 and reverse is 3. So 3 into 10, 30 plus last digit plus 2, 32. So if you'll see that we have reversed last two digits of n. Now again we will reduce 2. So n will become only 1. So now our reverse is 32 and n is equal to 1 only. Again n is greater than 0. This condition is true. We'll go inside, we'll get the last digit. Last digit is 1. Again we'll do reverse is 32. 32 into 10 is equal to 320 and we'll add the last digit. So it will become 321. We have added, it will become 321. Again we'll remove 1 from the n. This time if you divide n by 10, n is 1, and if you divide 1 by 10, it will become 0. So here this condition will be false and our reverse will store 321. So now we need to compare this 321 with our n value, whether this is equal or not. If it is equal, then you can say that it is palindrome. If it is not equal, you'll say it is not palindrome. So if reverse equal to, we cannot write n here because we have deprecated the n values, because we have reduced the n to 0 for this loop. So what we can do is we can store value of n in a temporary variable. So our temp is storing n. Here we are inside this loop, we are changing n. Temp is never changed. So temp value will be equal to n. And inside this loop we are changing n. So reverse you can compare as with temp. Because temp value is storing the value of n. So if reverse is equal to temp, what we can say? It is a palindrome number. So you can return true. Else you can return false. Let's run it. See, 121 you can see true output. If we submit completely, here all the test cases passed. If anyone have doubt, you can comment down. I'll reply to it. Now let's move to the second problem, which is our Armstrong number. This is, let's read the question first. You are given an integer n. You need to check whether it is an Armstrong number or not. Return true if it is an Armstrong number, otherwise return false. Here the definition of Armstrong number is given. The Armstrong number is a number which is equal to the sum of digit of the number raised to power of number of digits. So what it is saying is Armstrong is a number if we raise every digit to power of count of digit in that number and sum of that is equal to that number, then it is a Armstrong number. For example, let's say n is equal to 153. So what is the count of digit in this number n? There are three digits. So if we calculate power of each digit, power 3, let's say, what we will do? 1 power 3 is equal to 1. 5 power 3 is equal to 125. 3 power 3 is equal to 27. Now we'll add this. What we'll get? 1 plus 125 plus 27. We'll get 153. So we got the same value. So we can say that it is Armstrong number. If this value is not equal to n, then you can say that it is not Armstrong number. So everyone understood? So why we took 3 here? Because number of digits is 3 and you will raise every digit to power of that number of digits. So first we raised 1 power 3, then 5 power 3, then 3 power 3. Then we have added all the numbers. We got 153. So we can say that it is a Armstrong number. So let's move to code. First what we need to count the number of digits. So starting, let's say we have digit equal to 0. I will count digit. We'll run the loop until n becomes 0 and we'll keep incrementing the count. So while n is greater than 0, before that, because it'll change the n and we again need n to compare with sum. So we'll store n in a temporary variable and we'll change n inside this. So inside n, what we'll do? We'll increment the count digit plus plus and then remove the last digit. It is similar to, we can write n is equal to n by 10. These things can be written as like this. So after this loop, we have digits. We have counted our digits. Now what we need to find power of each digit raised to power digit. So what we'll do? Every digit we need to calculate. So again we will take again you need to take n is equal to original value. Original value you can get from temp. So temp is storing the original value and n was changed inside this loop. So we'll assign n is equal to original value which is stored in temp. Now again you will run a loop while n is greater than 0 and we will take the digit one by one. So what is last digit? It is easy to get the last digit. So we'll get n by 10. R is the digit. Now what we need? We need to calculate R power digit. So how can you calculate? In so value is equal to math dot power. Again, here different language has different functions. In Java, it is math dot power. What you can write here? R comma digits. So this is the number whose power will be calculated. And how much power? Digit. It's digit only. So we'll write digit. What we need to do with this? We need to add in one variable. So we'll take one variable as sum. Now sum is 0 at the starting. Now we calculate one digit power. So we'll add it into sum. Next what we need to reduce n. Now until n becomes 0, it will calculate every digit's power and it will add that in sum. Now what we need? We need to check sum and n value. So where n value is stored? Again, here n is changed. After a second time we have We have assigned the value of original n to n. Second time again we change n value inside this loop. So temp is storing the original value. We will compare the our sum with temp. So sum is equal to temp. If it is true, what we will do? We will return true. Else we will return false. Let's run it. It is given compilation error. Why? Because in Java, math.power function return a double value, but we are storing into int. So we need to typecast it. We'll write int. It will typecast. Now we'll run. It is accepted, but sample test case. Now we'll submit. So it is accepted. So today we learned two questions. See you next video.